That's right, man. Charlie, that's right.
And we're live, people. Deluded, I'm back again. My voice is moving mad. We got Matty in the building. Respect his opinions. Respect the fact that it's stupid o'clock in America. Yeah, man, you can never get too high as an Arsenal fan, and the lows are really low, man. You don't look happy. You're normally smiling and not be look vexed, my brother, man. What you saying?
This team will be the death of me, man.
You're not alone, man.
Bro, last time we talked, it was a mess. This time we talk, it's a mess.
If nothing changes, nothing changes.
I'm going to paint a picture for you. I'm going to paint a picture for you. Take away the Champions League. Let's just sit that off to the side. You know how you just, you trying to do one thing. Let's
Park it off.
Yes, just move this off to the side. What's different than any of the regular years that we normally have?
It's got worse this year. Nothing, but it's got worse this year. Essentially, we're in free throw in the league, bro. I
mean, this is what we normally do. We ball it. We're usually balling it, or either we're throwing away. We're going from 4th to 5th. You know, 8th. You remember those days?
Yep.
Kind of feel familiar, don't it? You look around and feel familiar, don't it? Like I've seen this before. You yesterday. How many Arsenal fans was checking the table for the last month? Nobody.
It's funny you said that, I'll bring it on screen.
Yeah, and so then you look at the game after the Chelsea game yesterday, Deluded. And what do you see? Oh, I think I mentioned when I came on a month or so back, I said 6 points one way, then we in hot water. Well, whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo.
Yep.
Looks like we're in a little bit of hot water here.
Because, a little bit. The water's boiling, bro.
Oh, yeah. Do you realize we've played 7 games? And when we started the 7 games, we were on 60 points. And we have yet to get 70. And we played 7 games.
It's unacceptable. 1 win in 5.
3 draws. That's crazy. And people say, well, man, why are you so hard on the team? Look, let's just look at this. When we were so far ahead of everybody under us. I'm talking double digits.
And we're drawing ourselves out.
And people are saying, oh, well, we're going to finish in 2nd place. Are you sure? Are you willing to put your mortgage on that?
We got Liverpool next. City got Southampton. The gap is getting closed, man.
Bro, Liverpool is coming to play. They obviously pretty much took the game off yesterday because they could say they're saving everything for us. Yeah, they're saving everything for us. And then Newcastle right behind them. At home. Final home game of the season, Newcastle. Oh, you know they
had our number as well.
Yeah, they coming to gate crash. And then people are saying, oh, well, Southampton. Oh, no, that's Southampton's last game in the Premier League for a while. And on top of that, we all said the same thing when we drew 1-1 2 years ago.
We don't like a trip to St. Mary's, man. On paper, we should be battering them, but we know the script. A team that can't keep goals out the back of their net, they're going to form into the best Jose Mourinho defensive side ever. Aaron Ramsdale is going to turn into Van der Sar. It's annoying, man. And you know what? Me and you have spoken about this. I don't want to keep saying the same things, but it starts and stops for me personally with the summer. January is another thing. Fair enough. The club have been, until now, with obviously what me and Matty are talking about, we've been just chugging along 2nd place. As Matty said, park the Champions League off to one side, bringing that back into the conversation. That's kind of where our headspace has been at. And then you look at we got to the last furlong. It's like the last hill, and we're just chugging along. The good news is that there's only 3 Premier League games left, Matty, man. Like, if we don't finish second, is it a failure? And I say that to say this purely because, you know, nobody, for me anyways, if we're not winning like where Liverpool are, it don't really matter where you finish. But then I am of the belief you might as well and try and maintain things. And it would show what we've been saying in that it would be regression if we don't finish second. So that, do you think we finish second? And if we finish below second, is it even more of a failure or a damning verdict on our club? Some madness.
You want my honest opinion?
I want you on it. You're one of the most honest content creators there are, man. That's one of the reasons I love having you here, man, Matty. You're the star of the show. We want your thoughts.
You see that number 2 right there? You see where your Masi will start right there, and then go down. Keep going down until I tell you to stop. That's where we're gonna finish at.
5th.
Right around in there.
You reckon 5th?
Yeah, we're not winning. We're not beating Liverpool and Newcastle. And if everybody else pick up 6 points, look at everything. If everybody else picks up 6 points, look where we'll be at.
And it's a shame because we need a win, and we're kind of not calm, but we're kind of cool for top 4 or getting Champions League football if we just finish there. But it's all open, man. Like what, 7 points between Nottingham Forest and us?
If City gets 9 points, look where they finish at. If Newcastle gets 9 points, look where they finish at.
It's dark. It's dark.
Ain't that's called reality, man. I told Lee the other day, I said, you hit it. I said, you feel the water? It's getting cold. So we just hit an iceberg called reality, man. Look at that right there. And see, people think I be playing when I say stuff. Look, our form has been absolutely pitiful in the league. Absolutely pitiful. And so you asked another question. You said, well, is it a failure if we finish second? We're not finishing second. So again, it's based on the basis of what Top Gooner say. They say second, league finish, all this stuff when you start trying to explain to them about we regressing.
They don't want to hear it though, man.
So Deluded, if you finish second 2 years in a row, and then this year you finish 4th, 5th, what is that?
Regression.
There's no other slice about it, brother.
Whatever way you slice it and dice it, it's regression. We
could very well have to go to the back of Jerusalem to qualify for the Champions League if we ain't careful.
When's it going to end, man?
But see, that's the question that Arsenal fans should be asking themselves this morning. Because last week we had to watch the God of Honor, but the celebrations. Next week we've got to watch the God of Honor. Remember, I told you we put everything we had into Real Madrid. Every single.
It does feel like the lemon squeezed all of that. Yeah,
every single thing. And the manager can't get them back up to go play. You know, to go back out on the pitch and do something because the energy levels are way off. You can look at the team, especially if you watch the game this weekend. Energy is way off. It's way off. The balance is off.
Comes back to the summer.
Yep. And that's what happens. See, even this, I made this point I made yesterday. Even in January, you didn't go out and get free signings, free, just bodies, free, just in case. Not one. Free bodies, free transfers. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
So how can you expect anything really? It's too. That's what I mean, Matt. When I always say, like sometimes I think there's a bit too much romance around the art of football. Yeah, I'm a football romantic. Who doesn't want their club to do all of that? Yeah, but as you know, there's a part in a season where it's just nitty gritty, ugly, get over the line. We've got to that period for the last over month or so, and look how we're playing. It's like we're just chugging along, like, and we're regressing. And even for me, yeah, like I keep saying on my channel, I think we've regressed this season. If people want to say stagnation, for me, either or, it's cool. But if this is where we stand, right, progression is obviously forward. Regression is backwards. Stagnation is in the middle. So you can have regression. You can have stagnation. Whichever one you guys want. Is that what we wanted? Have we progressed? There's not a single aspect. Like, what real positives are there? Yes, you can say we've got 2 semi-finals now, champs in the League Cup. Come on now. We know the target is to get over the line. Like I keep saying with Arteta, I think you're a good coach. But are you a winning coach? Every year that you don't win, it's getting bigger and bigger. And at some point, something's going to have to change. Me and you, we've given our thoughts. There's no point really doing the Arteta in or out thing because signed a new deal, 50 mil a year. Bert has just come in. The coaches are there. But at some point, something's got to change. You look at Xavi, who I think won a league title with Barcelona. Like, is Arteta the Xavi, and we need the Hansi Flick? Something at some point is going to have to change. It's a big summer. Even if we, like, you understand, Matty, like, we've spoken about building squads and that. Even if in the last 4 years we won a Prem or a Champs, yeah, I think fans need to understand that we would still have to do the same things this upcoming summer. That's a long time for the squad to be together, bro. It's mad.
What was wrong with that manager Friday? He's well, not Friday, but after the game Saturday, he comes out and says that the players are leggy.
Of course they are,
bro. You know what? And then you turn around and play the full freaking team. Minus one player who we know is injured, because you won't say anything about it, but we know he's injured. So I mean, brother. See, this goes back to when we first started talking, Deluded, when we first started doing this show. What did I tell you? He has a habit of not learning from his mistakes. And guess what he's doing now? He's not learning from his mistake. He's repeating the same thing that we've seen. Lack of awareness. He does not know how to read the room. He does not know how to understand what's going on around him.
Still bringing on subs in the 80+ minute, which I'm not sure.
I was just going to say he refuses to change his ways. 85th minute, he's bringing on those three that came on, and those three should have started the game, and the three that he took off should have been the ones that was coming on the pitch at the end of the game to close it out. That's how it should have been. That's how it should have been. This guy is absolutely going crazy. He's out of ideas. He's out of ideas. He plays PSG. Look, he plays PSG, Deluded. He goes out there, he puts that lineup out there. Luis Enrique looks, that's kind of odd. And then we were planning for something else. So he plays that lineup. Now he's going to go back to the lineup that we saw this past weekend. Then he's going to play that lineup. Luis Enrique is going to go, oh, well, let's just go pull out the tape from game day 2 when we play Arsenal, and then let's just lock off
1-2 little things.
Yeah. Now you reveal your hand. Unless he comes out and drastically changes tomorrow. Or Wednesday, rather. It's the same thing that we've seen. It's the same exact thing that we've seen. This is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's baffling that this manager refuses to learn from his mistakes and he won't even try. And now he's telegraphed the move, going into a two-legged tie, going into the second leg of a two-legged tie, where they have the upper hand. Because one goal for them is 2 goals. I know we don't have the old coefficient rule, but that's 2 goals. Because why? Why are you saying that, Matt? Because we got to score 3 goals to win the game.
And one to at least get us back in it. And I don't know how PSG are going to approach it. I don't know how we're going to approach it. Are we going to go gun ho? Are we going to be scared? Are we going to box smart? I don't know. The players aren't giving me confidence.
Watch this. And I'm supposed to believe that Liverpool, who played them, scored 1 goal in a 2-legged tie. And here we are behind a goal.
We'll get chances, but will we take them? Like, again, I know we've go on, Matt, go on.
Fun fact. We've never beaten them in the Parc des Princes.
We're gonna have to do the impossible if we're gonna have somewhat of a chance. But again, I can't blame you for not being optimistic. I can't say I am.
I mean, bro, all we had to do was win at home.
Or play a lot better. Like, make it difficult. Yeah. The last 2 games against PSG and against Bournemouth, they've pissed me off, because for me, I'm all about performance. We're football fans. I don't want to lose. I don't want to draw, but that comes with it. I always get pissed off when the performance ain't there. And we know there's reasons, we've run out of steam, injuries. We did it, we're not happy with what our club did in the summer or January. But I find it unacceptable that we're making it easy for teams, and especially the last 20 minutes of games, man. You could even throw Crystal Palace and Brentford into that as well.
Yeah, exactly, especially Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Now that you made me think about that. What did trying to think who we played this weekend. I can't. Bournemouth. What did Bournemouth do? The same thing that PSG did. They just couldn't score.
Substitutes.
They did the same. Well, they did actually. When you go back and go back to the first half of the game, when the first little bit of the game, what did they do? They did the same exact thing. We're gonna go on the front foot today. We're going on the front foot. They just couldn't score. The goalkeeper got lucky twice, right there in the first 20 minutes or so of that game. For to get lobbed, he's gonna get lobbed Wednesday. What should I tell you?
They know if we score first, we're gonna just do well. Yeah. We normally score first, deep block, low block. Been there, done it. Enrique even said that in the build up to the first game.
These coaches got tape on Arteta because he doesn't change anything. Oh, he's gonna lock in. He's not gonna change anything. He's gonna not move anything. And it's at this stage of the year, you are what you are, and that's what people don't realize. So when you saw when everybody watched the game on Saturday, was baffled and mystified. No, that's who we are. That is what's it 1-1, 2-1, a draw here. We were on a course for another draw. That'd have been 14. That ain't no coincidence. We happen to lose. Look at the losses. Look at how we've lost. This team is going backwards.
And I'm more. Do you know what? Yeah. Obviously, I'm not happy with the Bournemouth game, but do you know what the saddest thing is? Obviously, we lost the games, and defeat is where you got to learn the most. I'm actually more peed off with the number of draws this season.
All you do, if you subtract about 6 draws, take 6 off of that and move 6 over to the left, we would start having a whole different discussion. But instead, we have sat here this season, and this manager had refused to do what was right in the summer. And now that you look at the way things have played out, look at what Calafiore is doing now. How is that benefiting us right now? How is that benefiting? How is he benefiting us right now? He's on the sideline. You look over at Mikel Marino. He's played up front for the entire month. What does he do? Put him back in midfield.
It comes back to not having a big enough squad. Like people are saying, again, you look at Partey was a big miss against Paris Saint-Germain, but we've known we've needed a squad. Obviously I'd love to have 2 Thomas Partey's, 2 Bukayo Saka's, but if Partey's up here, you at least need a man that's there, because like you just said there, you've got Marino who's doing okay up front with the context is you've got Rice doing his thing in the 8. You have to start moving things around, and we are one of those weird teams that you move people around. We don't look the same. We knew this last season, and that's what's frustrating with the PSG game is that, as you said at the beginning, right? If you isolate the fact that it's the semi-finals, it's PSG, it's this, it's that, it's the third, it's the same old. It's the manager taking forever to make subs. It's the stupid lapses in concentration that led to the first goal. It's, the Martinellis and Trossards not even getting at them, not taking their chances. It's the same old handful of players standing up to be counted. All of our issues this season, we've known about them. Now, we're kind of, this has been the worst season statistically, but all of the frailties that are stopping us going to the next level, they've been there. It's nothing new. And if you're finding this out now, I genuinely think you've been living under a rock. Yeah, and it's annoying.
But see, when you look at everything, and you look at how this manager performs, and like you said, you brought up a point about these substitutions. This fool has played Zinchenko in midfield for almost the entire month as well, or at least during this extended period. And then what does he do? He subs him in and put him where? And then the most basic of basic coaching gaps that I've seen in quite a while. He substitutes Declan Rice on a corner kick.
And then what happened?
And then gives up the goal to bring in Marino, who was trying to figure out what was going on. Then he consistently keeps playing this captain. He keeps playing this captain.
He got an assist, but he's still stinky.
I mean, come on, bro.
Still stinky. It's still stinky.
Man,
you see that moment where what was it? I think it was in the second half where Odegaard was racing through, and it's like everyone's thinking shoot, and it's like he's glitched. It's like he's frozen. I think that sums up our struggles, man.
There was one that was worse than that, man. On the watch log, I just got up and walked away. I got so frustrated. I want to say it was Declan Rice or somebody laid the ball off to him, and it just ran across his body. So all you got to do now is just slap it. He dribbles, falls, and loses the ball. Goes back the other way.
I think that's the one I'm talking about.
It might be the same one.
Where he's like, you're thinking, just come on, mate, shoot.
Yeah.
And he just and I think he fell on the floor or something. And then that's a good thing. Yeah. Before I forget, that's a good thing. Yeah. Like obviously, me and you have spoken about Odegaard, but whether people like Odegaard or not, when he hasn't been at it, but when he's at his best, he's a good player. That's not what I'm here to debate. When he's at his worst, why is he still playing? Like, do you think Mikel Arteta thinks, you know what? maybe injuries is a point, but as bad as Odegaard is, this worst version of Odegaard is a better option in that 10 than a Wanyeri, or I don't know what else, maybe Zinchenko in the 10, or just flip switching it up and trying something else. Like, why do you think he keeps playing him kind of in that despite this form?
Because he's stubborn. He's stubborn. And at this stage, he's stubborn because he sees he's out of form. You know, Odegaard, you watch basketball, don't you?
Yeah.
You remember it was a player back in the day, man. You remember old Peja Stojakovic? Stojakovic could, you know, when he was on, he was on. But when he was off, whoa, beyond you. He was absolutely off.
There's no in between.
Yeah, no in between. And this is what Odegaard is right now. He's all the way off. All the way off. Now he can muster up something against Bournemouth, but when it's time to go against PSG, what you gonna muster up then? We all know what's going to happen here. The same thing has happened that happened the other day. Remember the first stat I told you when we were talking about this tie. I said they lead and they had 600 something ball recovery. They're notorious for getting the ball off of folks and then a counter attack.
Bit like Bournemouth, yes. Sunday,
yeah.
Saturday. Yeah.
That's why I said Bournemouth did the same exact thing that PSG did.
They're one of the best high pressing sides.
Yeah, and so when you play a high pressing side, you have to be perfect on the ball, and we've got too many players that are not comfortable on the ball in pressure situations. Odegaard is one of the main culprits of it. This manager consistently plays him. He could have played Ethan there. He could have played Zinchenko there. He could have played Skelly there. He could have moved Skelly there, moved Tierney into to left back. He could have did 2 or 3 different things. He refuses to do it because if he takes that captain off, that means that I'll fail. That
but
means
he needs to be pulled out the firing line, surely now, Odegaard. He tried to play him free form. He's dead now.
If he was going to do it, Deluded, he wouldn't have played this. He wouldn't have played this weekend. If he was going to pull him out of the fire line, he wouldn't have played him this weekend, regardless.
Yeah, we all know he's playing against PSG.
So there you go. So you know he's playing against PSG, and he's going to back that man. This manager, it's getting to a point now where it's like he's becoming more than the team. He's becoming more important than the team. He's putting himself first. He gets out there on Friday. He's talking about, I seen all these players, and they were all injured. Brother, you telling me that's the first time you realize your team is injured? The fact that he even brought up Tomiyasu told me that he on a BS story. He's right here trying a sob story, trying to garner up sympathy. When has he talked about Tomiyasu like that?
He played 6 minutes of PL football.
6 minutes of football all year. I miss Tommy, you know. And then Saturday talking about we like the fire in the tummy, like we little children.
That's unacceptable, even if that's the case.
Like this is kinder care or something. This brother, man, I'm telling you, if we mess around here and it play out like the way I hope it don't play out, we end up going. You know what? Before I even say that, let's say we do get past PSG. Look at the 2 teams waiting on us.
I'd rather Inter. I'm going to say that straight away.
Look at
you don't want to see Yalmao and that.
You know what? I don't know if you want to see either one of them because because folks, people thought that Inter was just some sit back, defend 1-0 lead team, and then you saw what happened the other day. We need to score 3 goals. We can do it too, bro. This is peak stuff here. It's getting real in the field. And I told folks, I said, this manager has left this team naked coming down the stretch. I've been saying it all year. Anybody in the chat that's been following me can tell you I have been saying this team was not set up for success at the beginning of the season because they did not go out there and get the proper signings that you needed. You spent money on stuff that you didn't need, and it's being proven correct. Like I said, what is Calafiore doing for the team right now? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. People will say, well, he'll be a great player. He'll come good. No, what is he doing for the team right now?
Yeah, he might, but right now he's not. Yeah, he's not a game changer.
We're in the Champions League semifinals right now, Deluded. We're in the Champions League semifinal. We were in a cup semifinal a couple months back. What is he offering? Nothing. We need players that can offer something right now.
Take us to the next level.
Today, to the next level. We only have about 5 to 6 players, 6 to 7 players in this team that are actually worth it. There's a lot that needs to be cleaned up in the summer. And there's no way Berta's going to be able to do it all at one time.
You can't do it all alone at one time.
There's no way. There's no way realistically
too much
that he can do it. But have you noticed? Did you notice on the presser? They asked him about Saliba. Oh, that's Berta in the management. Oh, wait a minute. Now
he does like to play games.
Yeah, now all of a sudden you want to call out names. That's not the Berta. But when it was Edu and everybody else, it was collaborative effort. Oh, okay. So if it don't work out, you want to throw. Oh, got you. All right. So let's see how it go the other way when you don't perform. Let's see how it goes when you don't perform, because
Which you
he's
need
got
to.
to. Yeah, because Wednesday is put up a shut up for a lot of these Arsenal fans. It's put up a shut
That
up.
is our final.
Yeah,
That is our final.
that's everything. That's everything right there. And then imagine, could you imagine we go out on Wednesday and then Guard of Honor on Saturday or Sunday? Guard of Honor.
I think
Two
they need
times.
to give the guard of honor. This is
I do
sport.
too.
Give
They
it
need
to
to
them.
see it. They
And you
need,
need to feel that for us. You lot
yeah,
need to feel the pain.
yeah,
Liverpool, congratulations. You lot need to feel that pain again, just like the last 2 years. That you are the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Watch this. Watch this, Deluded. This right here. You know I had to drop something on you. Watch it. Chat, y'all ready for this? Yeah, y'all ready for this?
Oh man.
He know how it feel to give a Guard of Honor. He did one for Manchester United. Oh, I'll say it again. Oh, y'all didn't hear me. I'll say it again. This manager knows how it feels because he gave Manchester United a Guard of Honor.
And he's also been at City, where I'm sure they've been given that. And that's one. I know we're not City, but that's some of the things Arteta does. Yeah, I know you wasn't the number one at City, but it's like you've seen the blueprint. Everyone, like the way Liverpool have won the title is different from how I've seen Chelsea, Arsenal, all of these guys win titles. But you've seen the blueprint of getting over the line and doing certain things, and when to try things, when not to, when you have to reinvent yourself. And it's like you've never. I just don't see it. Like as I said at the start, I think you're a good coach. I don't think you're a winning coach at this moment in time. In fact, you're not, because you haven't won anything. Big you up for the FA Cups and the League Cups, as he refers to, but the Prems are evading you. The Champions League, as me and Matty keep saying, we hope we're wrong. We want to win the Champions League. If you do that, I wouldn't say it glosses or papers over any cracks, but it kind of does. Is all forgiven as well? That's a good question. Like, is all forgiven if we win the Champions League? Like, can we forgive Arteta for this year, or forgive the squad for how we've played in all the other cup comps?
It basically proves that if they would have done the necessary, if they had done everything that was necessary and the gentlemen played up to their optimum standards, we probably would have won the league this year. Because if you can put everything you got into the Champions League, why can't you put everything you got into the league? See, that's, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? And look at the number. Look at 82-67. But we're in the Champions League semifinal. So why can't we correlate that form over into something that goes over a period of time?
Because the Prem it's more of a true test of where you've been as a team. Right?
Exactly.
38 games. Well, 35 at the moment, but 38.
Exactly. And so that's where the disconnect is. Why can't you do this over? What I said. Why can't we play Real Madrid every week? Why can't we do that?
But that's the thing. Like, this is what I mean by it's the minimum with effort. Because obviously it's Real Madrid, and credit to the boys. I can't fault them enough for those 2 games. Yeah, but without this sounding mad, it's easy to be up for Real Madrid. That's the game you're alive, Champions League, all that stuff. Bro, you need to do the same thing against Brentford. And there needs to be a minimum or a medium. We're either really good or we're effing crap. And then we get into this period where we are now with the league, where we're just chugging along. We might be half decent in the first half, second half's horrible.
Deluded, you know, I used to tell my kids when I used to coach them, man, when I used to coach the boys and stuff, man, and we would go out, we would play like we play like a rival. Like you said, we'll be up for that team. And then we play the team that's probably like, 4-6, 5-7, them teams.
There's not really any,
And I used to tell them, I say, it's either going to be first class or half-ass. That's what I used to tell them all the time. I said, we're going to apply the same standard that we play for everybody else this game. That we treat them just like they're the team that's 11-0. They get the same treatment. Nothing changes. This is a problem that this manager's having. And these players are starting to look tired. They're starting to look wore out. Declan Rice, man, he is going to be spent. He probably can't wait for this season to be over with.
He played 100 games for us already, man.
That's what I was telling Lee last night. I said, Lee, think about it. He's played 100 games and he's only been here 2 years. That is
mad, you know.
That is crazy. Just that quick. He stay here, he'll be on 300 games under this manager if he stay here. I'm telling you, this team has to learn. This team, I just seen somebody put it right there what I was getting ready to say. This team has to learn that beating the top 6 is cool. But what about the bottom half of the table? That's the difference that Liverpool had this year.
You've seen Pep have some terrible records in general against the top six and but get over the line in the others.
Yeah. Look at Chelsea. 18-8. Arsenal 18-4. Nottingham Forest 18-10. Just look. We're not beating. We dropped, what was it, 21 points from a winning position this year? Is it something like that? We dropped. I can't remember what the number.
Yeah, it's most ever in a single campaign.
21 points.
All of that can't all be referees. Right. It can't all be.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Deluded. So they said, oh, well.
Same said for the draws.
The reason Bournemouth beat us is because of the referee. Okay, well, everybody was on the pitch Saturday. What happened? What happened Saturday?
They're talking about VAR for the handball, apparently, with Ivan Nilsson, which could be true, but it negates all the other stuff. It's a cop-out.
I'll tell you exactly what that was. That was Odegaard not following directions. All Odegaard had to do was turn around, and the ball would have came right to him. He just looked right at it coming at him. Instead, he's down there trying to dance. Then the goalkeeper. Now, no, that gets lost in the wash on that whole scenario. Goalkeeper.
Raya was moving mad, I can't lie.
Instead of him kicking the ball away, he's trying to bend down to get the ball. Just kick it away. It was so much wrong with that on this weekend, but it encapsulated our season. And exactly, let me tell you something. If the referee, this is what I thought watching it in real time. I actually thought they were going to give them a penalty. I said, they're going to give him a penalty. Because Odegaard is grabbing. I said, Odegaard, look at it. He's grabbing the man back to the ball. He's falling over. And just so happened that he kind of since Odegaard was going that way, the brother just said, if you notice, he just kind of eased over.
That's the thing, yeah, with zonal marking. You see, when you can see goals like that, the zonal marking looks horrible. Like Odegaard on my man is
always hated zonal marking. I hate it as a player and I hate it as a coach because you basically letting the players come to you.
When it F's up, it looks dead.
Yeah, instead of going out man marking, because if you man marking, you can see where the ball's coming. The goalkeeper can see where the ball's coming from. It makes you wonder, how did he get lost in all that?
And players switch up with the zonal marking. Not even necessarily an Arsenal thing. It's just you're there like, okay, I'm in my zone. I'm where I'm supposed to be. It's kind of calm. At least when you're man marking or a mixture of the two, you're kind of having to be proactive. You know where you got to stand. You got half watch the ball, half watch the man, at least get in his way. And then, like, obviously, Odegaard definitely couldn't have been man marking Ivan Nilsson. But then you get moments like that where there's no contest, bro. Like, Odegaard's never going to be known for his strength and winning draws and all of that sort of stuff. Like, we're shooting ourselves in the foot time after time again. Like 21 points from winning positions. That needs to be put on a board at London Coley, just like with the 13 draws and actually the 4 defeats and actually the squad depth and actually the players that we've had to play, because I don't think, as much as I think Odegaard's been shit, I think you're carrying something. Our right-hand side generally, Timber and Saka, big up yourselves. Saka came back from his injury looking like amazing. Now you're starting to see a player that's been out for 2 to 3 weeks. Timber's played bare football because of his ACL. It's gross negligence, because I'm not going to say that Arteta and the players and Arteta and the coach and stuff, they don't know you need a bigger squad. You lot work in elite sport. Arteta, you've been at City. Regardless of whose fault it is, everyone who has a big or a small say in the recruitment is negligence. You know you need a big squad. We've been waffling about this. There's 4 competitions we look to compete in with a squad of 19, 20, where you go through half of those names. Injuries can happen to everyone. But there's people that you wouldn't get much money if you put bets to get injured. You know Tommy's picking up knocks. You know Jesus is picking up knocks. You know a few of them, Tierney even, Zinni even, Jorginho even. You know a lot of them, whether it's 1 or 2 weeks or the majority of the season, you know these guys are going to get injured. We didn't put our best foot forward, and we kind of assumed, definitely since the season started, but if people are saying I'm being harsh, I would say January that we're going to suffer no more injuries. There's going to be no burnouts. There's going to be no injuries. Football mirrors life. Life mirrors football. Anytime you have a goal in life, it's never just A to B. Yeah. If the task is over there that you wish to complete, you're gonna have to go through the houses. And I think we've got what I call ideal scenario world, where we just hope everything we plan for is gonna happen in the game. There's no refereeing nonsense. There's no injuries. There's nothing. It's just all gonna go to one kind of way. And then you get realities like this, man. Like you get realities like this, bro. Like we can all see it. and the club are wasting it. Even set pieces. Like, what do you make of the set pieces? We've regressed, man. Like 38.7% of the Premier League goals we've conceded have come from set piece situations. That's the greatest proportion of all clubs in the 2024-25 season. Maybe teams have clocked that's a way to kind of play against us or exploit.
I was just curious to say, does that mean that we've regressed, or does that mean that teams have sussed us out?
Or both.
Yeah, or both. You know, there was a lot of talk there about PSG's inability to defend set pieces, and look at us. We right there. I think we're right on almost on the same number.
Look at it, and we scored, but VAR.
And just look at that frame right there. Look at that frame right there. Look at that right there. Look at the frame right there of that young man, Hussey, whatever, up in there. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Look at that. And he just jumps up like a little fish. Boop. Back the other way.
Gets his goal. Gets his celebration.
On a throw in. On a throw in from an offensive player.
Great throw in. Horrible from us. Even the build up to the corner and the throw in was atrocious for me. We're getting caught on the transition.
Yeah. When you see this kind of stuff, you people say, oh, you know, oh man, he's brought us so far and he's done this. Look at this.
And that's where people need to be honest. You have taken us far, but you haven't taken us where we need to go. We've got first world problems. I'm crying about semi-finals and leagues and stuff. Yeah, that's credit to you. You know, you've taken us from back-to-back 8, but this is not where we want to go. And if this is where we want to go, then we need to whatever. We can't like keep doing that. We've hit a road bump and we need to get out of this. And I said it in the summer. Yeah, I genuinely, of course, I would have loved to have been wrong. I'm not going to say I would have predicted it would have played out like this, but it's just natural football in that going into this season, you either thought we're going to go up several levels or we're going to regress by several levels. There's going to be no in between just because we're in our third, fourth kind of year of this phase and we didn't do what needed to be done. And we're not idiots. We can see how it's been played out.
Yeah, it's like I said, if you substitute the Champions League and just, you know what, and then you go back to the league, bro, it's revert to type. It's everything we've seen in the last few seasons where we ball it coming down the stretch. This year, the only difference, he's balling second place instead of first. He said, I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to move from first. We're going to go ball second place. It's just, it's maddening, man. It's absolutely maddening that we cannot get over the line with this manager and some of these players. And as the brother just said, as Cino said earlier, he just stated, some of these players' contracts need to be tore up. What are they offering? What are they offering right now? We're in the Champions League semifinal.
We're carrying too many passengers, man.
Too many people have hitched their wagon to us. And it's time to cut the umbilical cord. Some of these players, it's time to go. It's time to go. Some of these players, remember I told you a long time ago, I said we still have Europa League players in this team.
You did say that.
We have Europa League players still in this team. We need Champions League players. We need difference makers. We need moments men. That's what we're lacking Saturday. Somebody a moment. Trossard, hit point blank header. Nope. Martinelli in on goal. Nope. Odegaard.
Two games in a row.
Yeah. Like you said about soccer. Told everybody. He's not 100%. Oh, he's coming back. He's going to win the Champions League. He's going to unlock and unleash. Yeah, for a game or two. And then
one man can't do it all the time, man.
Cannot do it. We're right back to where he was in the first half of the season, where pass the ball like that to him and rely on soccer. He's got to create something. He's got to do the creating because Odegaard can't do it. He's bailed out Odegaard so much in his career, it's crazy. And then you look now, you see once soccer dries up, oh, that's it. And it's going to be more of the same on Wednesday. They're going to isolate him. They're going to.
He even said it. They had 4, 5, 6 players next to him. He even said it. He's going to try and find pockets, but there's 10 other players out there. They're
going to isolate him. They're going to exploit Mourinho for being up top because if Mourinho's in midfield losing the ball, what you think he's going to do up top?
I'd rather him up front than Trossard. I can understand hitting it long to Trossard.
I understand because he's more of a threat than Trossard. So I understand what you're saying, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get your point.
Is that soon as he gets the ball, he's gonna have to be quick on the ball. Because if he's not, every time he touches the ball, it's gonna be a counter attack. Right back down the side, he's going, Thomas Partey, oh well, we'll just go to the outside. We'll pull you out to the outside. And then Ben White's playing on Wednesday. We'll be under him against Doué. Woe be unto him.
I feel sorry for White because you're not fully fit, man.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the players. Obviously, the players have played. They've not all done good enough. But where you look at the manager, the players, and the recruitment staff, or whoever makes decisions, the owners, sympathy for the players. I don't have sympathy for anybody at this football club where it comes to recruitment. Whether they have whether they've got minuscule decision making skills, or they it's whatever they want, they get. Everybody's in this together. Like, this is incompetence. It's a shame. You lot have thrown away your opportunity. I hope the Champions League, you lot win it and you can paper over some cracks and that. But you haven't put your best foot forward. Like what Matty was saying earlier, like, you look at the league and you look at this, what could have been. It's all, we kind of going back to what Matty said as well, people. We ain't got no in between. As much as I want us to be amazing in 38 games, we all know football, that's not how it works. I guarantee you, ask Ancelot, there's probably been numerous games this season where he thinks his team and his tactics haven't been good enough, but they've got out of jail. We need that, whether that's players or with abilities, whether the manager tries something else. It's sometimes you need to be able to win when you're playing crap. You look, going back to this league game, league table, we played 35 times. Now, there's probably in these 13 draws, there's probably been games we've deserved to win or lose, or probably what we deserve of draw. I think we deserve to lose all of those games, but sometimes there's times you lose where you deserve to win, and likewise where you win where you deserve to lose. But that's the beauty of a 38 game season, because it should even out. But that ability of getting over the line at our worst, we haven't unlocked that yet, man. We ain't done that.
Nope. And this is on and on and on. This is after City gave us a head start. Think about it. City finished above us and they gave us a head start.
But this comment, Matt, it says, I want to hear what your thoughts. Shout out Boston because of the mod. But he said, it's football, it happens. Explain how City had fewer injuries, spent 210 million in January, have a better manager, but they're still behind us. We can't forget the previous years, I would say, on that. But what do you make of that comment?
Let me tell you something. People keep going back to injuries. Injuries are part of sport. It is up to the manager to prepare in case those injuries happen. I'm telling you, City is rounding in the form, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna grow a head of hair if City finish above us after the start they had 1-13, because it doesn't make any mathematical sense that even happened. That doesn't even make any sense. But like you said, the table doesn't lie.
It doesn't lie.
And if it finishes the way that we're talking, guess what? The table ain't lie, because then that shows that was all formed the entire year. Because if we finish 4th or 5th, then that shows how have we played, Deluded. Like we should be 4th or 5th all year.
Bearing in mind, battling for the Champions League positions, excluding first and second, is a battle of the inconsistent anyways. You look at all the teams with a mathematical chance of the top 4, top 5, they've not been as consistent as they would have liked to have been. We therefore haven't. City therefore haven't. Newcastle have had some good and bad periods. Chelsea have, by their own standards, been shit. Forest got running away, now they've whatevered. So yeah.
Go to the bottom of the table for me. So by that logic, you look over and you keep going. Stop right there. Does that right there kind of look like Manchester United's form for the year?
100%.
Does that look like Tottenham's form for the year?
Million
Does that look like West Ham's form for the year?
100%. And the 3 teams below them.
Look at that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if we finish 4th to 5th, outside of what's that record based off of them 14 draws? Because look at Everton, 15 draws. But
and you know what? These teams are lucky. These things didn't thingy. Sorry, Matty. Let me cut you for a sec, Matty. Yeah, I just want to go with this comment. You are being very negative of us, and I don't like that. Respectfully, if you don't like it, go somewhere else. That's the beautiful thing about YouTube too. Do you think me and Matty want to speak about negatives necessarily about my football club? But last time I checked, we're not first. We are now dragging ourselves into a top 4 race. We have said we hope we're wrong with the Champions League. Why do people want us to behave like, if we were in a great moment like we was Liverpool, behave like everything's crap when it's not, or behave like everything's fine and dandy? The truth hurts, the truth stings. Anything that he's saying, I'm saying. You think Arteta and the players and everyone else in theory aren't saying worse? What do you want us to do here? But anyways, man, Matty, I cut you. Them things just piss me off.
But see, this is what I'm saying. When you see stuff like this right here, it's like, oh, you're being negative. Look, they had a chance to set everything to be positive in the summer. They had all the day to make everything positive in the summer. But because we didn't do what we were supposed to do in the summer, We're paying for it right now. People cannot seem to understand that we did not prepare ourselves for this. You have to, as a coach, you have to prepare yourself for the beginning of the season, the middle of the season, which is the most difficult, by the way, and then the end, which is the closeout part of the season. The middle and the closeout part is usually the two hardest parts, because either you're trying to get yourself you're either trying to pull yourselves up, or either you're trying to maintain, or either you're trying to close out. That's usually how it goes when you're coaching. And then
the last furlong, we've effed up, man. It did the major effed up.
Exactly, because there's no way we should even be in this situation. When you look at this entire month, we've played teams that on paper you will look at and go, okay, that should be 3 points there. And instead, what do we get? Draws, loss. We get a little win against Ipswich, but look where Ipswich is at. So that tells you right there that's kind of one of those overinflated wins. And then when it's time to play somebody halfway decent, like Bournemouth, oh well, what happened? Lost. And then we get ready to go against two mega teams in the league. Liverpool and Newcastle. Newcastle beat us three times straight. Liverpool. When last time we beat them at Anfield? I can't even remember.
Scratching my head, man.
Yeah, I can't even remember. So and then it's gonna be a party time for them. So people say, "Oh well, y'all are being negative." The reality of the situation is, it's not what you want to hear. You want to hear us come on and say, "Oh, we've got a chance. We're gonna blow PSG away 7-0." That's what people want to hear.
We're gonna win. Yeah, we're gonna win every Premier League game, and we're gonna win whatever. It's not making sense, bro. We hope that's the case. I hope we're unbeaten in what's left in the Prem. I hope we overcome PSG. But I'm only as optimistic or negative with what we see.
What's going on? What were they telling you in February? Liverpool are gonna drop points.
They ain't played anyone.
They hadn't played anybody.
In fact, scratch that. Hey, Matty, I'll do you one better. Yeah, I'll do you one better. Do you remember the first half of the season? Yeah, when we were struggling along, people were saying we're saving our energy for the second half of the season. You've never played sport if you're saying that. Nobody goes into any game, not Arsenal, not anyone, thinking, we're not going to play well because second half of the season. Fair enough, though.
We hold him back. No, I'll tell you what I did say. I said that Slot is going to go away from 100 miles per hour football and preserve people's bodies so that they can finish out the year. Look at Salah. Last time you seen Salah finish most of the season.
Exactly.
At his age, at his advanced age, by the way.
And when Liverpool did drop points, we didn't capitalize, which is something we have failed to do. If we want to be a team that gets over the line, we got to smell blood. You look at City. Remember the first year we fought for a title, 2022-23, and we were running away with it. What did Haaland say? We're hunting them down. This is the levels we need to go up. Yep. Why act like everything's amazing? Life could be better. It could be worse. We haven't made a meal of this. We've, at the minimum for me in the league, since it's become clear for the last 3 months or something, if you want to be kind and say the title is done, at least maintain the position. You've dragged yourself, because mathematically you're closer to being in the top 4 race than you are to winning the league. So just maintain. Just fulfill your fixtures, maintain. We haven't been able to do that.
Look at City. Look at City's form.
They're patterning up.
What I just tell you, I said they're rounding in the form. This is typical City right here now. This is the City we know. 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. When is Arsenal had 4 games or 3 games in a row of success all year?
Exactly. And even look at our successive clean sheets. These are the things we need to address if we want to have the team and go to the level that Matty, myself, and you lot want. We are our own best friends and our own worst enemies. I said it last season. I said it the year before. Credit to anyone who's won trophies that we haven't been able to. But I think before I go looking at how good, not in a disingenuous way, but before I go and looking at what City done, Liverpool, how they did it, this, that, and the other, I need to spend time looking at our club, because I think we've shot ourselves in the foot. We shoot ourselves in the foot in games and in the window. And that's why you see a mixed bag. We have some good periods. We have some mixed periods. We have some, good games that will go down in folklore with Real Madrid and beating City 5-1. But then getting over the line, which draws us back to what we were speaking to at the beginning, completely different conversation, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I just, people got to realize, man, our transfer window this summer, just it hurts. It's killing us. We don't, you don't have somebody there that can put the ball in the back of the net, guaranteed. We got somebody that can do it on occasion, but we don't have anybody that's guaranteed to do it. And
Havertz is still our top goal scorer in the league. Marino's up there after getting a little run up front. That's credit to them, but it's damning on us,
Yeah, because you didn't buy Marino to play forward. We didn't do that. That was not.
Exactly.
That was that. Nobody this summer said, "Yeah, I mean, he's a hell of a four, a
It was
striker."
all 8 and
Yeah,
6 and this, that, and the
yeah,
other, which is why I say credit to the individual. It's not his fault. It's damning on us though.
yeah. And then his brother, the brother Joseph, just said, "Yeah, Gabby was at the beginning of the year bailing us out of games
See,
with some set pieces, ole. And what you brought up earlier about set pieces. The man they work on the offensive side of it, but we don't work on the defensive side of set pieces. We
well, we've
don't
regressed in
defend
that
set
regard.
pieces. Yeah, we don't do that. It's a lot of
We're not
surgery.
playing to the previous high standards that they've set.
There is a lot of surgery that needs to be done in this team. People
And
keep
people have
saying,
selective
yeah,
hearing. Nobody's downplayed any injuries.
this was
Selective hearing.
see, everyone want to keep going back to these injuries. Everybody has injuries. That's part of the game. But have you prepared yourself for when the injuries come and if they come? If he wants to keep talking about injuries, then look at the last 2 seasons. Then that means we was awfully lucky. We've
So
been
then we should have
awfully
put
lucky.
into gear.
Yeah, awfully lucky. You don't hear City fans, oh man, Roger, we can't do anything. Look where they at. And they've got a Kevin De Bruyne that's going down the pitch on a walker. Look at that right there. And they're coming right up on the backside of us.
And then even if they want to say that, even if you want to say injuries, clearly injuries are valid. Players get injured. But as Matty said, and I wholeheartedly agree, this is football. People get injured. This is what happens. A wise person learns from their mistakes, right? We've seen what one injury could do when Saliba was out in the first year we fought for a title. Last year, we was relatively injury-free. We still missed Tomiyasu, we still missed Partey, and we still missed Timber for large periods of that season, yeah? We saw what somebody mentioned Rodri in the chat. One injury, how it can derail. I'm sure Liverpool had a mass injury crisis a couple of years ago. So there's crisis that we could learn from ourselves and others. And again, Arteta for the last, and I'm not even blaming Arteta, just to paint the picture because the club know this. He has said we have got one of the smallest squads. If anything, we should have looked at the first year, the Saliba one, and said, bloody hell, one injury could derail us. We need to make sure we're levels. Last year, we got fairly lucky with players not being injured, etc., etc. Let's equip the squad, even if everybody's fit. The squad the squad needs to be equipped more. And I'm happy you mentioned that because this is 3 years. This year hasn't been a title race. City, despite what people want to say, have been on top of the table longer than us this year, and Liverpool have ran away with it, right?
Manchester United has.
Manchester United, I didn't even know that, and look where they are. But then it's clearly deeper than injuries. In the last 3 years, we've had one injury derail us. Key players been injured, but more or less had everyone fit, or this season, which has been a disaster. And in those 3 years, we've still not won the title. So injuries clearly play a part, but then there's something deeper. How far does injury go? You can't just bury your head in the sand and say everybody's fit. We win games, we win the league, because there's evidence that suggests it doesn't. So again, look at the good, the bad, the ugly, and see what's in front of you, which is a mixed bag, which is a team that has decent level of foundation, that has established itself as one of, maybe not this year, one of the best in the Premier League, and not the best in Europe, but up there. But this is where we are. That's where we need to go. This is where we are. We've either stagnated, so we've stayed there. We've gone backwards, this regression. Pick your poison. We want to go there, not. But me and Matty are negative.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you look at this whole injury deal, and people are like, "Well, but this injury, this has cost us." I've seen what an injury we both seen when Eduardo went down. That's the injury that cost you the season. That's a flat out injury because he was putting in so many goals, and then you lose the focal point of the offense, one of the focal points of the offense. Then that's different. We're talking about injuries to players that were coming off the bench anyway. Most Jesus, Tomiyasu, these were bench players.
Jesus one hurts. I wonder what his form would have done. Not that he would have been amazing, but we could have dealt with him.
You see, because he was actually around the back of the form. But we're talking about players.
But generally, yes, it's peripheral players.
So if your bench players getting injured, what's the problem there? What's going on? What does that show? Oh, we don't have the depth. Because if you don't have enough coming off the bench, then what does that tell you? What does that tell you right there, Deluded? That means you don't have enough coverage. That means you didn't plan properly. You didn't go to the free signings. See, when they say injuries, why wouldn't they saying, hey, let's get a free signing? Because I'm sure if the fan base on Mass was saying, let's find some free signings in January, well, you know what? They'll look up. Free.
No, but then, Matt, what does that tell you then? Of course, I'm not at London Coley. I'm not in the offices, cool. But you think you can't, you don't think there's value for money. You don't think there's any free transfers. I'm not saying they're right or wrong. I'm just simply saying if that's how you're thinking, then you feel you've got enough. You've got enough to get over the line. And whether it's random young players, putting other people in other positions, you're telling me in that January period, you believe you have enough that if worse, like in the summer, if worse comes to worse and it's ground zero, you have enough. You have to be praised if you got over I would praise you if you got over the line with those contexts. But where we face ourselves now, with the exception of the champs, where we hope the league, you've got to hold that. Then you've got to hold that. Like it said there, people criticize Liverpool for using excuses. You can't have your cake and eat it, man.
You sit up here and people look at we look at this whole summer transfer window, and we talk about injuries. And now it's just like I said, I love being that now that we're at the end of the season, because now I can start asking pertinent questions. And one of the main questions is, what did y'all think that Raheem Sterling was going to offer us this year for y'all to waste a body on that instead of going out there getting a player?
Got him on deadline day, so the summer didn't go to plan. Clearly,
yeah. So it was a mess. Then you look at, Ivan Toney. Oh, he's got an attitude problem. I hadn't heard anything about an attitude problem out in Saudi Arabia. He's got silverware. Firmino left Liverpool, wanted to stay in the Premier League, leaves. We've had opportunities to bring in bodies, quality bodies. Maybe a year or two. We're re-upping. Oh, Jorginho. What is Jorginho offered this year?
Could have done with him against PSG as well. Again, depth. Partey not being there is one thing. Jorginho is another. You neither could be available. You're fucked now.
See, this is what I'm saying. The squad depth. It ain't the injuries. It's the squad depth. They did not do enough in the summer transfer window to prepare. When we started the season with the smallest squad, I knew we was in trouble. Anybody that know me that watches me over there with Lee and the guys, we were saying that back in August. Jay said, "Oh man, Matt, we two injuries away from capitulation." People thought we was crazy. And what happened?
And we want to be wrong when we make comments like that, man.
Yeah. So I mean, people can spin this injury deal all they want. You nullify injuries when you have enough squad depth. Because players can go down. Liverpool had players go down this year, and you can't even tell it.
And if your fully fit squad is here, yeah, you at least want to fall here. You want to cushion the blow. You don't want to go all the way down, because I think we've got the double whammy of personnel. The manager that you do two things, like he wants to kind of play the same way regardless of them being out there, or like what we saw against PSG, because we ain't got depth. Rice is getting moved from the 8 to the 6, Marino moving about, and we are that team where we ain't really got players that you can plug and play. Like, you start moving team players around, we look a bit mad. And as much as I feel that the mentality is the main thing against PSG, I think that affected our shape. Like, whatever people have to say, we were known as one of the best defensive sides. The way we traditionally defended, the way we pressed, how compact and low blocks. There has to be a correlation with multiple things as to why we're like this. And it goes back to what I genuinely believe is the other thing of what Matt is saying, is that the fitness levels, man, the players are spent. Whether we rate these players or not, there's hardly any players in great physical condition. None of them. Our right-hand side, our first choice right-hand side, Timber's knackered. Saka's finally, unfortunately, looking like someone that missed a lot of months out. Odegaard ain't fully fit, even though he's just being shit at this moment. Rice is probably getting a bit leggy as well. It's peak. Partey's not, and this is why I feel, Partey, I'm going off topic, but if we get another centre mid, which I think we need, bro, Partey's a weird one, because he's not a plug-in player. He's one of them that needs to, in players that you got to play 5 games on the spin, you come out the side, you start looking like you weren't there. And I'm not going to kill you for the Bournemouth game, but I feel that was the case with him. So again, depth. The theme is depth.
Partey's like driving a Cadillac. You drive a Cadillac and then you go all the way down to a Ford Focus. You're gonna know the difference immediately. And that's how it is. When he's out of the team, you tend to notice it. Even when he's in the team, because other players are off, then you start. It's like it's an imbalance. It's been a lot of imbalance.
Exactly.
It's it go back to when we talk about like for like. Magalhaes goes down. Kivio's doing fairly well, but now you're starting to see those same issues that you used to see with Kivio pop up. You're starting to see that again. It's like, do we have a like for like? When we had when Jesus went down, do we have a like for like? We had to go scrambling around looking. Then you got Odegaard. People are going with Odegaard. And then you look at Odegaard's number. If you pull back the veil and look at Odegaard's numbers and you look at his career, you say, well, he's right on form where he's been at his entire career. Maybe we can do better. Maybe we can find better.
Not evolved.
Let's step back and look at everything for what it is for 30,000 feet. This is why I told folks, Bird is here. People are gonna say the Cronkies they didn't give him anything this year. They've given him $750 million to spend. They looked at this situation and they probably said to themselves, wait a minute. We $750 million, man. We should be in a better situation, but we don't. Why squad depth short? Why you look at all this and then you look at Edu leaving. This is what I say. If you look at everything as a whole, you see somebody's upset around here, and it's going to get worse if Wednesday happens and we capitulate here in this league. Burt's is not here just to be here, because if they wanted a yes man. An easy yes man, they could have just hired Ato. Ato was already in the building. I keep telling people he was already in the building. They would have did the same thing they did with the manager. Let's just get experience. He learned on the job, whatever. This man is here because look at the squad there. Look at the fact that we don't have adequate coverage. Look at the fact that some of the players leaving on these wild wages, living on wild wages. We got players leaving the club for free. We've got chaos. It just looks good because we're in the Champions League. This is why I said Champions League maxed a lot of issues that we have in this football.
It needs to mask all the way until the final, man. And that's actually something as well. Like you said it. You said it there. If I'm completely honest with you, you could look at a twofold. Like people can talk about 700 million, etc., which I think is valid because I do think people act like Arteta is a damsel in distress. But I do agree with certain comments. You know what? Catch up money, all of that kind of stuff to get us in position. Cool. Part that off. For me, I look at the last 3 years, including now. As much as I am not the biggest fan of the Cronkies, they can turn around and say, DG, we have broken our transfer record. We have ripped up contracts. We brought in players and put them on big money wages. You might not like it, but you know how we operate. Look at all our other sports clubs. We get X, Y, and Z and leave you to their devices. As much as I'm upset for us as fans because we missed out by a point or two last summer. We heard all the language said on the last day. We come into this summer thinking, yo, striker, this, that, the other. We go to the next levels. And as Matt's been speaking about, income is one thing. I genuinely think in hindsight, there was a remit to... Because unfortunately, football is a business. There was a bit of a remit as we need to fix selling. We probably need to sell a couple players. That's probably why you saw Eddie Nketiah go, Smith Rowe go, this, that, and the other. Like there is a business perspective, and there has been quote unquote some level of recklessness. So it doesn't surprise me if they're doing that, which is why Berta comes in, and maybe not in this summer. If Martinelli and Trossard don't fix up, they might say, well, you two on big wages. You're not really first team regulars like that. Or if you stay like this, there'll be better players. You lot might have to go. You look at some of the players that are on big wages and we can't really flog them. This is what we need. And obviously there's an element of Berta being able to maybe challenge Arteta and kind of pivot against certain things. I don't know if we sign Gyökeres, but I like the fact that we're linked with him. And Ornstein has said Berta likes him purely because he's 26. He's ready right now. He knows his job as a striker. It's not a development thing. Again, it's a mixed bag, people. We do 5 good things, 5 terrible things. And then if we keep doing stuff like that, we're going to keep having maybe not seasons like this where we've really gone off a level, but good moments, bad moments, ultimately nothing come the end of the year, man. Jarring.
Yeah, I mean, it's really frustrating this second half of the season for me, especially this last 2 months, man, to see that we're supposed to be in the way I see the way it should have played out was second should be locked and loaded. We should already be good to go. We're able to rest players.
We should be vexed about second, and that's it where the league's concerned.
Yeah, and focused on trying to get this Champions League. What I fear is going to happen is, let's say we get past PSG. By the time we get to PSG, because that's at the end of the season, we're going to be spent. Excuse me, if we beat PSG, then you have to play Barcelona and Inter Milan. By the time we get to the end of May, look at how you got to fight. Like you said, you're in the top 4 race. You didn't. We were not. You're supposed to be on the chilling. Oh, it's done. It's over. No, we've actually got to go out and play. Now he's forced himself into a situation where now you got to play the 14.
You don't got no choice, and this is why I said the player. Sorry, I got sympathies for the players, but any issues around injuries or the knock-on effect, Arteta, the recruitment staff, Cronkies, you lot have to hold that. I only feel sorry for the fans and the players in that regards.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. and his brother alluded to MLS and the fella that he had
Arthur. We said Calafuri MLS the only competition. Slightly,
It's scaling only happened off of technicality. The manager said the only way you into the team is playing left back. He said, "Well, hell, I learned how to play left back because we had injury crisis. Well, you brought in a player that was injury prone, knowing he was injury prone, and he was good going forward. How is it we buy these defenders that's good going forward but can't defend? And then Skelly comes in and it's been a revelation. And then Ethan, this brother here the entire month. What happened when Soccer was out? Who was playing then? Soccer comes back. Who's not playing? You can't find anywhere for him to play at. Martinelli, Iffy, you can't put him over there. You can't
give him more than 5-10 minutes unless he's carrying some sort of knock, which I don't believe. I don't know what's going on there.
You know he ain't carrying a knock.
Yeah, I know he's not. I know he's not
knocking on the door. He's knocking on the door to come in. The manager sits there for week after week, 90 minutes, sub, 92 minutes, so 80. What you think that do for his confidence?
It's too predictable, man.
What do you think is going to happen when it's time to talk contract? See,
which they should be in contract talks with him.
This is how we lose players. Because you don't think that the player is sat back for a whole month and looked. This is how Arteta starts when he destroys players. This is how he does it. This kind of stuff like this. What happened to Trossard? From when we got him, and who came back? Who came back?
Nelly.
And I think that was one of the main things that cost us the league 2 years ago. Trossard was on form. Premier League Player of the Month. Jesus comes back. He's forced to the bench. What happened? What happens to Ben White? Timber shows up. Now you got White in out. White's injured. Then you keep playing him. Timber comes back, can't get his job back. Now he's back. He's playing injured. And he's probably telling the manager, I'm good, because he don't want to lose his job.
He's a soldier, but he's hurting himself.
Yeah. You know how players are. I can go. Yeah, I'm good.
They're all doing that.
Yeah. And so this is what I'm saying is that when you look at squad depth, we should have enough squad depth. One team for this, one team for that, one team for this.
And then just mix and blend.
And yep. And you mix and blend and move and do it. And you add in players if you need. How is it that under Wenger we go to Manchester United to win the title and Bergkamp and Henry ain't even in the team? And we still
know how much football changed. Exactly. Even what I think it's actually the anniversary. I could be wrong, but the 2002 FA Cup, one of my happiest memories. Ray Parlour, he was a squad player. Anyone that remembers Invincibles, Edu was a squad player.
Yeah.
You need squad guys, and it's not even in a disingenuous way. Like you need them. Man City, Jesus and Zinchenko, they're probably City legends and all of that. But there used to be times in the season where they'd be bit part players. But when you get to around now, they would make the difference.
How many times did we watch Jesus come off the bench for City and score a goal?
And do madness, yeah. Or we played the random starts and whatnot, yeah.
And so when you have these discussions with people, Deluded, you tell them, say, well, you know what? Well, maybe he's a bit part player. Oh, man, how can you say that?
You don't rate him. You think he's shit.
He was doing it over there. So, come on. And then when you invest that kind of money, you got to be you got to do something. If you're gonna pay 52 for you have to do something. Oh, well, you're not doing it. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll get you back to what you used to do. We'll bring you in on this. We'll bring you on this Carabao Cup game here. We'll bring you in on this over here. And if you happen to get in the runner form, if you happen to go full Jokeris, we'll put you out there and then let you do your thing. This season has been marred by malpractice of mismanagement of players
exactly
and breaking in quality. This is the problem, and this is why I get so upset with this team. It's because for everybody to keep saying we negative, I can actually look at this team and say we only need a few pieces to get over the line. We just need a few pieces. We only need it's not like we're gonna go from 2nd to 18th. No. We're sitting. We are literally only about 6-7 quality players, not good players, quality players from actually being able to do something. And we only have a limited time. The window is closing. I keep trying to warn people. The window is closing. Normally in football, you have about 3-4 year shelf life before you have to start rebuilding. We're actually getting close to rebuilding. Because some players,
and that doesn't surprise me because I said that at the start. And what did you say there, Matty? Like 4 years is a long time.
Yeah,
There's been evolution of players, shifting team dynamics. I think we would have had to have the summer we're facing this upcoming summer, anyways. Even if we win the champs this year and won a Premier League or two in the years that we've been fighting for it, we'd need to do that anyways.
we
The
got to.
squad's been together for time.
Yeah, because see, people don't understand, man. Like in sports, if you're not making adjustments, then you're gonna stagnate, and we're close to stagnating. Because again,
Stagnating and regression is death in
what are
footballing
you
terms,
what are you hearing
sporting
in these,
terms.
what are you hearing in these YouTube streets? Oh man, the squad is getting closer. They're coming together. Most of this squad been together 4 or 5 years. That's abnormal in sport. They have the same people together like that in modern sport anyway. It's abnormal. You have to add to. This is why Real Madrid look the way they do. You got Modric still out there on the pitch, bro. It's time.
Complacent, yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't adapt, didn't evolve.
adapt, involving. Then you look at Barcelona, and you say, "Oh, they got kids out there. But they freshen it up. They
Got bare players.
They combined a little experience, brought in some youth. They got some sure-footed players. Inter Milan, they mix and match. That's a mix and match team. You got Mkhitaryan out there playing defensive mid.
And he's still like about 50 years of age, and he ran the most statistically against Barca.
Bro, me and Lee was up last night. We was watching La Liga. And Aspas was out there playing.
Still out, yeah. Aspas is still out here. Still out here. Still out here.
Lee said, man, do you see that? I said, that's Aspas. He's like, yeah. And he's out there. And we were listening to the commentary, and the commentator said, look at the difference he's made since he come off the bench. And I said, look at this. I said, that's what we were talking about. I said, when you talk about impact in the game, that's what we're talking about. A player that drops in and all chaos ensues. We have to this summer find players that can make impacts, that we can come in, that can get the job done. We don't have time for players to bed in for the next 5, 6, 7 years. If they want that,
make sure you sign my guys that are ready for right now. You sign my right now guys, get all your duns for tomorrow as you want. But we need both.
We need sure-footed, ready to go players. We don't need one for the future, one for the we need. Yeah, and Santi scored as well this weekend. By the way, we saw that goal yesterday. Old man Cazzola.
Come on, shout out Santi, man.
We have got a lot of work to do if we want to be successful. Because everybody, you see all the teams under us. Every last one of them going to strengthen. Every last one of them. I don't know what Forest is going to do. They'll probably retool a little bit, but I do know for a fact that Newcastle is going to strengthen, Chelsea is going to strengthen, and City is going to strengthen, and Liverpool.
And we have to get it right.
Yeah, Liverpool is going to strengthen. Liverpool is just not going to just somebody sent me a text last week. It might have been Kenny Ken. It was either Kenny Ken or either Abs. Said Salah has challenged. It was Normsky, as a matter of fact, it was Normsky. That Salah has already challenged the team to repeat next year.
See?
We want to do it again.
Because he ain't gonna sign a new deal if he thinks Liverpool can't do what he wants to do. He's not getting any younger.
What does success do? Success brings players like that back to the team.
It makes you hungry that you want to do it again and again. You're like rabbits with rabies, like you want to win it again and again. And that's why for me, I know people want to look down at the League Cup and the FA Cup. That's why for me, obviously, I want to win the Prem, I want to win the champs. But when you're provided the semi-finals against Newcastle, put your best foot forward, man, and try win that, because it creates that kind of hunger. You've seen, I think Klopp, but I can't be sure on Klopp. Pep definitely. He's going to be known for winning the champs for City and all of these things, and everything is 100 points, winning it with Haaland, with no striker. How many times was he picking up League Cups? It used to be a running joke. We knew when it was played in February, that man would have won it. That man would always be there. It creates that, I want to win. I want to have to buy it because these footballers got money. I want to have to buy a new house purely for my cups because I can't have it in the yard. The wife's getting vexed. Like, we need that.
Let's have a little fun. All right, so we're gonna count these teams out. Let's go down this table right quick. So you got City, Liverpool 1, City 2, Newcastle 3, Chelsea 4, Aston Villa 5. Scroll down, keep going. We'll say right there. Then you'll say Everton. They're gonna tighten it up. United, Hotspur, and West Ham. These are all teams that's gonna be in the market this summer.
They need to. They're lucky that these 3 teams are worse, or a couple of them could have went down this year.
Yeah, if Leeds and Burnley was up this year, So one of them is going down.
I think Spurs would have been in trouble, man. I hope so anyway.
I was just going to say that I think it might be Spurs. I was just going to say that I think Spurs might be the team we had to the toilet.
West Ham lower than I thought they'd be, to be fair.
Well, West Ham, what saved West Ham was they made that change, and then they had a little bit of a form there.
Yeah, and then it's gone flat again.
Yeah, and it's flatline. But this year, this is one of these years. This is why I said we have missed a golden opportunity here, Deluded, because this ain't happening next year. Because the teams that's coming up are better. Leeds have already get ready to find a manager. I don't know if anybody saw the celebration.
Yeah. Daniel Vaught, they're saying, I don't know if you can keep us in the Prem. That's going to be nasty away from home.
Did you see the celebrations? Everybody was celebrating. He was standing off to the side. He knows he's out of here.
He knows I can only celebrate so much.
And you heard who they talking about bringing in, right?
Nah.
Mourinho. so you see him.
He's needed for the Prem for the culture, to be honest.
Yes, because he's got the money. Leeds has got money. This is what.
And you got Jose who can pull players in.
Yeah, he's got the money. They've already got an attack. They just saw it up. You know what their problem was this year, and they still got 100 points. Was defense. Was defending set pieces.
That's what keeps you in the league.
Yeah, that was their biggest weakness. So he'll fix that without a problem. These teams are going to come up next year. Teams that in this league next year are going to spend some money. Manchester United could very well go, if they win their cup competition, they could go from the lap to the Jokeris overnight. They'll be right at the table. Yeah, they'll be right at the table to get top grade players to come in. Same thing for Spurs. If Spurs win, then if they sack Ange, which they probably will, they'll sack Ange, and then what happens then? Oh, they're in the market for a decent manager. See,
hopefully they don't get one.
You don't think that? Yeah, I think they'll get one. I actually think they'll get one now. They've learned a hard lesson this year. They've learned a very
Areola as well, which I hope doesn't go over there, man. They link with some good guys. I hope none of them take the job, man.
West Ham, somebody in the chat said Potter earlier. West Ham.
Yeah, they need a preseason as well at West Ham.
So he's going to be wanting to bring in some of his players, bring in some of those Brighton type players, over there. So I mean, you look at Palace. If they win the FA Cup, they'll feel like
doing some good stuff.
Inspired. Yeah, if Palace win the FA Cup, they'll feel inspired. I'm sure they'll spend a little money. They'll get something up top. It's not going to be like our fan base think it is. This is Arsenal going to the store. Nobody else is buying anything. Everybody's still staying at home. No. This is why it is critical that we move. Some of these players in this team need to be moved on.
This is why I'm saying, Berto, we trust, man.
Yeah, and I'm praying that it works out that way. I have a feeling it will, but some players need to be moved on. Some of these players need to be moved on, and people have got to get over the fact that, we bought them. It just didn't work out the way that we wanted it to, and that's okay. That's part of the sport. Is Berto going to hit on everything? I would love it to be that way, but the reality is he's probably going to whiff on one or two. That comes with the picture.
That's just life.
It's better than when we had a sporting director that was whiffing on everything. You going from old boy, the fellow over there at Chelsea, Mudryk over there, Willian. We whiffing all over the place. So
Cedric Suarez.
Cedric Suarez, all them signing, Pablo Mari, all that stuff.
God.
You forgot about him, didn't you?
Man.
This is why this summer players need, somebody's mentioned it about Odegaard. If someone comes in with silly money for Odegaard, he's out of here. As far as I'm concerned, he's out of here. I looked at it's funny because the last thing me and Lee did last night, we ended up watching some highlights and stuff, getting caught up on the weekend. And so we was watching Bundesliga, and I didn't know Florian Wirtz had dyed his hair. And so I said, man, who is this guy here?
Who's this player?
Yeah. Literally, I was sitting there looking, and I said, Lee, who is this brother right here? Chopping up the midfield. I said, look at this run. Look at this. I said, he's holding off defenders. He said, man, that's Florian Wirtz.
And then you was like,
I said, well, damn. I said, he dyed his hair. I said, I didn't even realize that was him. I said, why are we not at the door knocking to get this gentleman? I said, we should be. That is exactly what this team needs.
We need runners, man. We need runners, man. I think you need the Wirtzes at not the same level, but the Morgan Gibbs-White, the Morgan Rogers. You need dynamic midfielders who can get goals and do all the other stuff, man. Like, it's not about, not that we got them, but we ain't really, You don't really see artists per se in football in today's day and age. Like, we've not adapted, man. But at least Matty was showing intention, man. Like, that's
Yeah,
what we want to see, bro.
I'm looking, man. I was like, who is this brother here? We seen 2 or 3 guys last night, man. That was ripping it up, man. It's just like when you watch, and this is why I tell people, everybody watch Premier League. Go watch some other leagues, and then you see it. If you watch other leagues and watch other teams and stuff like that, you'll see exactly the same. Well, that's what we need right there. That's exactly what we need. You'll see it. It'll stick out like a sore thumb because we lack that player that can receive the ball from the defense, picks the ball up, and then can carry the ball through midfield or either just distribute. We actually got one, but he's not going to play him. That's Zinchenko. He's not just refusing to do it, which is crazy because Zinchenko, you remember the one, Brentford? Zinchenko played midfield. You saw how quick the ball come out of the back.
He doesn't do the defending thing.
Yeah,
but we've gone past that point now.
Yeah, it's up the pitch. And that's what we've been lacking. Somebody can get the ball from the defense back up there, and it's up in the mix already. That's what we've been like. We are lacking fundamental core components that will lead us to success against teams that we notoriously struggle with. We struggle against teams that come with a low block. Everybody keeps talking about this low block. We can't defeat a low block. We can't. How do you beat that? You unlock the low block.
You unlock it. You got players in the pockets, or you stretch the team. Like, the whole point of being a low block or the good defensive side is they're compact. We don't disrupt the shape.
I used to tell my players, I said, defenses that defend like that are like an accordion. You have to make them expand. And once you make them expand, then you can shoot gaps. And then
one person switches off when they're expanded. It's in.
Over. But see, we don't have anybody this is what Odegaard was supposed to be there for. And people think I'm being hard on him, but that's his job. He's supposed to be the one. If he's the creative spark, people keep saying creative spark? Well, what position in the midfield is the person that's the most creative? That's your number 10. That's right there in the middle of the pitch. Or he's going from side to side, making himself available. I get the ball, I release the ball. I'm moving the ball.
And you even need more than one as well. Like,
you need 2. Actually, you need 2.
And then you got your little inverted fullback like Lewis Skelly, who's gonna, got the personality. Then you got 3 man in there that's moving. Rice is gonna put himself about, and then you've got Saka. One person in that low block switches off. We're in, and obviously, because it happens to us, if we concede early, we kind of have to vacate the deep block and mid block and everything because we need to get back in it. If a rival team or opposition team does that against us, and it becomes a shootout or more of a game that suits our strengths because there's space.
That's why when PSG scored the other night, they were like, "Oh shit," because it was.
But why they did that, mate? Enrique said he's like, if we let them score first, he said something along the lines of, if we let Arsenal score first, we know they're going to retreat into a low block. Now, obviously, it probably wasn't, but is that any coincidence why they had a blistering fast start and we obviously kind of didn't, and then they've got the lead in it, and then it's a shootout from there. Yeah, Luis Enrique every day last week gave us some insight into what's going on. Vitaya as well.
So if he gave you insight for that game, what you think he got lined up for this game?
I hope he ain't got nothing because we're gonna need God and Arteta to find some solutions, bro.
Judging by this past weekend and players all the changes he made, I think it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be
tight, us, man.
It's gonna be tight, man. It's gonna be tight Wednesday because if they score, we're in major trouble. We're in major trouble. We're going to have to score. The way I see it, for us to win this game, we're going to have to score 2 goals in 30 minutes.
And we need to psychologically approach to get it. For me, more than anything, it's how we approach it psychologically. Like, of course, I don't want them to get 2 goals. But if you do concede 1 on the night, 2 on aggregate, how are you going to react to that? Because you're away from home. The Parisians are going to be moving mad. You were a weird team in that when everything's going right, we look even more confident. When everything's going wrong, we look even more. The manager and the manager and the players, they've got to manage themselves, man. They've got to manage themselves.
Yeah, I think that they're going to have to take their time. They're going to have to everybody's going to have to be locked in. It's a cup final. That's the best way I can tell you. It's a cup final. They're going to have to be locked in, and we're going to have to. 1 goal is never safe for Arsenal. 1 goal is
used to be a famous chart, not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. Now, 1 goal is never safe. If we go up, we need at least 2 more goals to stave off the team, and that was proven again this weekend. Hopefully, we can get over the line. I would love for us to get over the line. We need this Champions League. The club needs this. We need this in the history.
Biggest team not to have won it.
Yep. we need this. And if we don't get it, as you would say, questions need to be asked.
And I
Why
think
why
that's
have
fair.
why have we not gotten over the line? Again, we need to look at the whole situation. We need to look at everything as a whole. And this is your answer. You'll see.
It's like an MOT. Like
Yeah,
it's like when you put your car in, you see everything. It's like it's like a progress report, an end
yeah,
of year progress check. Whether you're in school, you go to work, you got your own business, whatever. Every year or every quarterly period or whatever time you want to say, you have to review everything. If there is things that are good.
you know,
I don't want to hear about that. I want to hear about where we need to improve.
Deluded, if you step back and look at the last 4 years of what we've done, the last 4 years, you can look and say, well, the team is actually competitive. Why are we getting over the line? What pieces are we missing to get us over the line? And then you put that on a sheet of paper and you see it really ain't that much. But the problem is nobody wants to address the issues that we need to get over the line.
So we're just in the permanent loop.
You're in a loop. You're in an infinite loop. You're in an infinite loop. It's like Doctor Strange at the end of Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Exactly.
Going through.
We got Dan Potts, as he says, swings and roundabouts. Man.
Yeah, it's just over and over and over. So I mean, it's just a case of are we going to address these issues finally? Are we going to get over the line? But are we going to finally get some silverware this year? Because we're in for a shout for silverware. Because my biggest fear is the opportunities that we had this year, we're not going to have them next year.
And then it's just mad for us.
That's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about is that because everybody would have thought, United based off of last year, FA Cup, end of the season, that gives it a boost or whatever. And then look where they are at the table. And then look, everything worked out for them in the Europa League. Everything fell the way it needed to fall.
And they're taking their chances, and that's the thing. Whatever way we shape it, like not that I care about what Newcastle are doing; they're not our rivals. But Newcastle have ended their drought. City in a terrible season. I hope Palace could potentially win. I hope Bilbao and Bodo Glint overcome in the semi-finals. But either Spurs, God forbid, or Man United could win something. Obviously, Liverpool, Klopp's gone; they've won a title, and then there's us explaining.
Yeah, we trying to get people to look around. We're like, hey man, injuries, man. Yeah, man. Injuries, man. If it weren't for injuries, we'd do this. We'd be doing that. No. If we'd have had a competent, I think if we had a striker. Let's just say we all we got was the 30 goal a year striker.
We don't have 30
goals. That alone would solve problems. That alone would have solved some problems because all those 13 draws, you probably have been down to at least 6 or 7.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you're having a completely different discussion. And that's
now you're at least making it difficult for Liverpool to win the league. And they're definitely not drunk at this moment in time celebrating. And Trent doesn't announce, at least at this moment, that he's confirmed to leave.
Yeah, that's the reality. That's the reality of this season. And so this season is going to be a learning lesson for the manager because he's probably going to be here next year. We all know he's going to probably be here. It's a learning lesson from him. And it's going to be a learning lesson for some of these players. And I'm going to say this too. I wrote this down. I want to make sure I didn't forget this. I want everybody to watch behavior after this Champions League, whatever happens. Either A, they're going to announce the contract signings of soccer, which I'm assuming that he's probably already re-up. He's going to be here. But the most important one you want to keep an eye on is Saliba. Because these players are going to be looking to see what we do in this Champions League. And if we get to the final, what are they thinking? Because it goes back to what you said about Salah and Van Dijk. Oh, we'll re-up because I can actually see what's going on. Oh, well, look at that. Right on cue. Right on cue. I hadn't even seen this. I just woke up, so I hadn't seen any of this.
If anyone's just audio listening, I'll just read it out. Real Madrid are ready to move on. Real Madrid are ready to move for William Saliba whenever they see an opening, whether it's this summer, 2026 or 2027 for free. They love him. Love is said in capitals. Now it's up to Arsenal to offer a project to win titles because Saliba wants to win titles. That's from Fabrizio Romano.
Read that last line again.
Now it's up to Arsenal to offer a project to win titles because Saliba wants to win titles.
One more time for me.
Now it's up to Arsenal to offer a project to win titles because Saliba wants to win titles.
Nobody wants to just play sport.
Understand what was said there, people.
Yeah, but nobody wants to play sport just to feel good or finish in second place or league finishes. People want
Fact. And if you do, you're not a 30 baller.
So they want to hear something that make noise. They want to carry something. Go look at the trophy that Ivan Toney and them held this weekend. Look at the trophy they had. Look at that. Look at the trophy they had up. It was strutting like a peacock all over the pitch with the trophy. Look at me. Look what we got. Look what we got. Look what we got. Look what we got. Look at Harry Kane. Look at Harry Kane. Ask Harry Kane, does he like success?
Yeah, he got the cigar out.
Yeah, ask him, do he like success now? How does it feel to win a trophy? Do you just want to get to the Champions League and not win anything, Harry? Do you just want to compete, Harry? How he wants to win? He's probably thinking to himself, damn, I should have left 3 or 4 years early. He's probably going to tell 1 or 2 players. Look at Son. You think Son ain't over there looking like...
And you don't want to end up like Son, because unless Spurs win it, your time's gone. I can't lie.
You wasted time. What you think this brother here thinking about? Yeah, we beat Real Madrid. Like I told y'all, he walked around them facilities. He seen them trophies. He was coming down the hall. He saw them trophies.
And this is the one season. You're right. No, and this is the one season that obviously the players have to take some responsibility. Disclaimer for those listening, yeah. But I think the 2022-23 season, cool. Breath of fresh air. The season after that, cool. We go again. We was finishing 1 point. This year, because of the summer, because of January, because of actually, if I was a player, like it's the same old group of players that are the ones turning it. I want to see what the club do this summer, and I want to see how next season pans out. And Saliba might want to go. He might want to stay. He might be in between. But put yourself in Saliba and his advisor's shoes, right? Every day that you do not commit your future to Arsenal, you're getting them more scared and scared. You know you're one of the best defenders in the world and all of that jazz. You're not one of our top earners yet, so you're going to want that. And despite he says that I want to go down in Arsenal fan history, I want to win trophies, life changes. You lot have changed your mind on football players or aspects of life. What's going to stop my man? Can't take words for gospel. And it's Real Madrid.
Yeah, RVP had the little boy inside. Let me throw this your way. Let me throw this scenario your way. Contract negotiations. Hey, man, we want to re-up you for another 2 years, 3 years. Offer you, a bumper increase. He turns it down. They come back again this summer. Say, we'll offer you, 100,000 more. Turns it down. There's birth to selling.
At some point, you got it. Maybe not this season, but the summer of 2026.
See, that's what you say. Uncomfortable conversation.
Uncomfortable conversation. You got to pull the trigger next year. Yeah, you can't let it go for free.
We cannot let, and this is what I want folks to understand before people think that I'm saying we need to sell Saliba. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is you're in a situation where you cannot allow a player of this value to walk out the door for free. This is why we find ourselves in the situation we in now with some of these players. We are leaving for free. You can't get anything for them. We turned down $40 million from Palmeiras, and I think at the end of the window last year. This past summer, from Palmeiras to sign Jesus, and what happened? Turned it down. Well, what happened? Now you won't get it. You won't even get a fraction of that. You got it. Sometimes you have to make a business decision.
You just gotta bite the bullet, man.
And if we
no matter how good they are.
Yep. And if we cannot re-up this gentleman here, long term, not short term, long term. We add an extra year. No, extra year is just kicking the can down the road. We need long-term stability.
If I'm him, I'm signing a 3 year, if anything, with an option of a 4th. Obviously, if you're the club, you're pushing for 5.
Yep.
Because in the next 12 to 18 months from that point, this all starts again. Just like him and Saka are very smart, because it was just the other day, Saliba Saka contract negotiations. I would do the same thing. You remember, you got to milk these clubs for what they're worth. You got to know your value.
I told you, Palmeiras. I couldn't believe it when I read that article that Palmeiras came in for Jesus and we kicked it back. I was like, what? Because Palmeiras is on a resurgence down there. They got a factory down there. We need to be looking in on
them Brazilian dons. Yeah.
They are having a little bit of a resurgence. And so when we kicked the can, I was like, how do you turn that down when you can get something for Jesus, for minimum
wages freed as well.
Yeah, and you kick it down the can. So if this is true, which I think where there's smoke, there's fire, especially with this. And I also told the guys last week, I said, if you notice, Saliba stop talking. I said when players like this stop talking, they ain't saying nothing. They ain't saying it goes.
Silence speaks volumes sometimes, man.
Yeah, it does. And so this is why I said, if it comes down to it, we need to move on. We need to move on. We cannot let him go for free. Cannot let him go for free.
That'll be criminal, man.
Yep, it'll be a disgrace. It'll be malpractice. Then I'll start looking at Berta sideways because he can't go for free. No way, no way, no how. No way, no how. It's just like that $100 million that was they talking about offering for Magalhaes at the time before he got injured. Bro, you have to consider that $100 million.
You gotta think.
Yeah,
I think our club will take 100 million for Gabriel Magalhaes, if I'm honest. But
so yeah, but yeah, as far as the game goes, Wednesday, I think we'll draw. I actually got us 1-1. I think it's gonna be a cagey game, and ultimately, I just don't know if we're gonna make it through.
I'm gonna be optimistic and just say 2-1, man. Just bare blind optimism.
I hope it's 2-1, man. I really do.
I don't like the logic in my mind telling me as to why we won't go through. So we're winning.
I hope so. And if it is, we'll all be celebrating. Everybody will be having a great time. It'll be scenes at the end of May, and it'll be a great Saturday afternoon. It'll be just like having a Super Bowl for me. So we
need you to get that, man. We need that, Arsenal fans, man. We've been through so much pain, like the Champions League, man.
Yep, we need it. And then as far as the league goes, Liverpool, Newcastle. Yeah, man, that's a tall task, man. Tall task. Because if we end up not going through Wednesday, they're gonna have to pick themselves up. And that's why this is where I worry when it comes to the mentality of this team in situations where
no time to feel sorry for ourselves.
Yeah.
Man.
So this is we're getting to the finally to the really business end of this season, and they're gonna have to find a way to navigate this and get through it.
I'm getting upset, Matty, man. Cause I'm just
it's just one of these things where you just gotta sit back and watch now.
Yeah.
They're either gonna get it done, or we're gonna have to we'll be sitting here asking questions in a couple weeks. Like what
uncomfortable conversations. Yeah, they're not even uncomfortable at this point, but uncomfortable conversations.
Yep. So I hope the guys win. I think it'll be a draw just based off of history. Because if you go look at the history, it's draw. It's usually a draw every time we play. So you just hope that it works out in a way that where we can either A, get through on PK, or B, we can find a win, because it's hard to win over there. And
we need time for players to put on their big boy pants, man, and stand up to be counted.
Well, this is also, and I'm glad you said that, because this is also this. I want everybody to look at. I want somebody to look at this game and look at this moment. Players that are not prepared for this moment need to be moved on, because these are ultimately the moments that we've all talked about that we need to be preparing for. That we should be in.
These are the moments that these players should have been dreaming about when they were 7, 8 years of age. This is the reason you want to be footballers. The only thing better than playing in a Champions League semi-final must be playing in a World Cup semi-final. If obviously it depends what country you're from and all of that. There, but that's what it should be. So, like Matty said, if you're not prepared for this, let the manager know, man. Forget going to France.
Yeah, just sit down. Just say, hey, you know what? Nah, too big. Moment's too big.
And that's okay. I'm not angry at you if that's the case, because you was honest. But let the players, even if they're worse than you, do their thing, man.
Also, the manager's going to have to be able to manage the game. He's going to have to know, we're in a situation, we down a goal. It's still 0-0. We still down a goal. We're at the 67th minute. Who's impacting the game? If the player's not impacting the game, he needs to be off the pitch. Then if we get into a scenario where it's getting closer to penalty kicks, he's got to put on people that we know can get penalty kicks. He's got to be able to do that. We got to manage. The players got to manage their heads. No red card. No penalty. See, it's a lot of factors in this game.
Psychological and proactiveness from both managers is going to be required. Well, from ours more than theirs, because if it stays 0-0, PSG are through.
Yeah, well, that's right. They don't even have that. I forgot. Yeah, if it's 0-0, yeah, they
balls are in their court.
So we've got to navigate this game, and he's got to let these guys play football. He's got to let them play.
Do your micromanaging thing, but let the man them play. Let them play.
Yep.
You can't manage every individual scenario over 90 minutes, which I think Arteta has to. Sometimes that could give you more control, letting go. Like, you can't hold on to everything.
Yeah. And that brother Taha, he said, if we get a penalty, Rice must take it.
Yeah, sacks. Nah, unless you're gonna. No.
No Saka, no Odegaard. Damn sure no Odegaard.
Yeah. Odegaard
Any
forget
free
it, man.
kick in the PSG game, Declan Rice taken.
Yeah.
Any
In
free-
Declan Rice, we trust more time, actually. You know,
Yeah.
shit.
I don't want to see. I don't want to see. I want to see Odegaard doing anything. Nope.
Matty, what content you got to come out, man? It's been a great video. Obviously, you lot forgetting, yeah. Extra big up to Matty because this is stupid o'clock in America as well. The day's just started. What content you got to come out, man? Make sure you're subscribing. It's in the title.
I will be on with Lee and the gentleman today for the Real Talk podcast. We'll be on today. I'm not sure what time Lee's got us on, but we'll be on today.
It's on Lee's channel, yeah.
Yeah, we'll be on today.
So make sure you're over there.
Dropping hammers. I want to say it's gonna probably be between well, it's 1 o'clock my time, usually 5 or 6 your time. One of them. We'll be on today, and we'll be talking about this, getting prepared for this weekend, and this Wednesday, and we'll be talking about this debacle in the Premier League that we put ourselves in, this conundrum. And that's it, man. Look at Deluded. It's always great to be with you, man.
Likewise, brother.
Like time, a whole 2 hours flies by just like boom, just like that, man. And
it's a therapy session for myself, man, if anything.
Yep. And so I'm hoping that next time we get together, we'll be talking about the Champions League final in preparation for that, and getting everybody healthy. And hey, man, we'll see what we can do. So let's see what we can get past PSG, one game at a time. And 2 goals in 30 minutes, and PSG will probably start to crumble.
I hope, Matt. Listen, I hope that's the case.
I'm telling you, that's the recipe. I'm telling you, that's the recipe for the win. If we can get 2 goals in 30 minutes, I think PSG will start looking sideways. But if they score first, it's gonna be tough.
It'll be a long night, man. It'll be a long night. But yeah, man, you heard Matty. He's gonna be on League on the channel. Yeah, man. Big up the chat. 5-6 is gonna be over there. Forget all of that though. Check the title out. Make sure you're following Southern Gooner. Get the subs up, get the likes up, do all of that. As the man said, yeah. Hopefully we're in a final. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best, man. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna let him get on with his day because it's early in the morning in America. Matty, love for that, my guy.
Peace, man.
Come on, man.
Y'all have a good one.
Come on, safe.
Like